I'm just so scared. I'm 74 years old. I worry about everything, and I just am so scared and upset, and I don't understand why people voted for this person.
Oh no. Give the old hack some tissues. Get out of here. What a bunch of clowns. This would happen in California, of course, but I want to make it clear that the majority of Hispanic Americans, keyword Americans, the majority of Hispanic Americans are for mass deportations. Even CNN admitted it.
Start off on the fact that immigrant citizens, immigrant voters, foreign-born voters have gone tremendously to the right on this issue in 2024 and 2025 versus where they were in 2020. Closest to or trust more in immigration. You go back to 2020. Democrats, get this, held a 32-point lead on this issue. Immigrant voters were in the Democratic camp. Jump forward to 2024, 2025. Look at that shift, a 40-point shift to the right among immigrant voters. Republicans now lead on this issue by 8 points over Democrats, more so than any other group that I could find. The group of voters who became more hawkish on immigration were in fact immigrants themselves, immigrants who are registered to vote in this country.
So that's on that issue. How about how they feel about kind of traditionally, historically about Donald Trump?
Yeah. So, you see this shift and you go, what is going on underneath the hood? Well, take a look, Donald Trump. You remember when he first ran back in 2016, immigrant voters were one of his weakest spots. But look at this. Trump's vote share in presidential elections among, again, immigrant citizens, those who are registered to vote. Look at this. In 2016, he got 36% of the vote. You go to 2020, 39% of the vote. Look at this. In 2024, all the way up to 47% of the vote. Some polls I looked at had him barely losing that vote. Some polls I looked at had him barely winning that vote. Again, there is no block of voters that shifted more to the right from 2020 to 2024 than immigrant voters. And Donald Trump, at least in some surveys, actually won that vote. On average, it's about equal. So there may be all this stuff, right, about undocumented immigrants and Trump being harsh on them, but immigrant voters themselves have increasingly liked Donald Trump and have increasingly moved to the right on immigration into the Republican camp.
Well, then on that, what you're getting at, how immigrant citizens, voters, feel about people in the country illegally.
Yeah, and this is where it all kind of comes together, Kate Baldwin. Look at this. The net favorable rating, immigrants who are here illegally, among immigrant citizens, again, those registered to vote. In 2020, look at this, plus 23 points on the net favorable rating. But look at where we were in 2024, minus 6 points, underwater. So immigrant citizens have become increasingly unfavorable in their views of those immigrants who are here illegally. So I think it's so important when we're talking about this debate from a political angle to separate those out who are undocumented immigrants versus those who are here legally and those who are citizens and those who are voters, because that group of voters has felt increasingly distant from those immigrants who are here legally. And so again, when we're talking about this, at least from a political angle, this is why Donald Trump feels so comfortable, because in fact, amongst the group that you would think that would be most opposed to this, in fact, they become increasingly favorable, not just towards Donald Trump, but towards a Republican point of view on immigration and becoming distant from those immigrants who are here illegally.
Now, why is that? Why would most Hispanic Americans support mass deportations? That's because we know better. We do not want this beautiful country to turn into South America. So whatever the mainstream media is showing you, it's the minority. You will not see most Hispanic Americans support these violent, in some cases, terrorist-like protesters. On the other hand, they will support and vote for people like President Trump because he is trying to keep us safe. Again, we know better. But sure, you'll always find some hypocrites that say otherwise. For example, like some of those who recorded these protests on TikTok. We're going to go over some of those videos. In particular, one or two from Carol. She's a Salvadorian who posted some of these videos on her TikTok account. And then we have Mexican American Kevin. He also posted various videos about these protests. But you have to hear what these two individuals said while recording these videos. Pretty incredible stuff. And by the way, if you guys love Mexico so much, just go back to Mexico. Get out of this country and enjoy Mexico. Nobody is stopping you. Let's get started. Okay, so let's get to the first video. This one is from Carol's Take Trash page, and you can see some Mexicans waving their flags, blocking traffic, and this is her commentary. This is the location, she says. This is the location by Atlantic Avenue in Compton, California. This is what's happening right now. She says these protests are happening due to the massive ICE raids currently taking place towards our friends and our brothers who are Latino like us. And this is what happens. Take a look. The comment section is telling her to leave because this could get dangerous. And she's saying that, yes, while she reads the comments, she's saying that, yes, she'll be leaving soon. She wants to remain safe, but she is recording this right now. So you heard that, right? Our friends and our brothers, our family members, our Latino communities being deported. They're being targeted by ICE. And so, according to her, these are the results. You know, all of us are so angry. And then within a few minutes, the looting started and she recorded it. She says, I know a lot of people will get mad, but this is embarrassing. I mean, come on. It doesn't cost a lot of money to buy some sodas, she's saying. We should never lose our honesty. We should teach our kids to always be honest. And there are limits. We should never lose our honesty. You see all the criminals, the protesters looting this business. What a shame. And that's exactly what she's saying, that this is a shame. Look at them, she says. This is in Compton, California. For the record, I think you can even hear a little bit of what sounds like Mexican music in the background.
La ciudad de Compton. Es la ciudad de Compton. ¿Y por qué no quieres que lo grabes? Yo sí lo voy a grabar porque eso no está bien. Eso no está bien. No está bien, no está bien.
Somebody in the comments was telling her not to record, and she's saying, why don't you want me to record? I will record this because this is not right. So it's funny because a few minutes before, she was telling us that we are brothers and sisters, you know, the Latino community. And now look, the Latino community here are looting this business. And you see the Mexican flags. I think that's the Honduran flag or Salvadorian flag. But yeah, proud pro-migrant protesters. By the way, a lot of these individuals are American citizens, okay? They're either Mexican Americans or Salvadoran Americans, and they're looting this place. I'm confident that some migrants were involved here as well. So can somebody please tell me, what do ICE raids have to do with looting? How are those two related? Now, this video is from another Take Trash account, but it's recording the same thing, just closer. So much for our brothers, our Latino brothers and sisters. Wow, so heartbreaking, right? That they're getting deported. Unreal. And then we have Kevin, a Mexican American, and this is what he recorded and said. Look at this, he says. They are shooting at us with these things. My God, they're everywhere. Look at it. And here you see him around the area where the looting took place, and the police was, they sealed the place. Nobody's there anymore. So he's recording after the fact. He says, look, they broke the glass and they looted the place. There are phones here on the street. Look at this. Check it out. You see, he says, look how far we have gone. You see, guys? Look at this. Check it out. This business has been destroyed. But you know why? Because they're shooting at us with these things. These are the consequences, he says. These are the consequences. Look, as I said before, because they were shooting at us with these rubber bullets, that's why the looting took place. And there's blood on the streets. But yeah, these are the consequences. These are 40 millimeters. Check it out. He says we have to put our rights first. I'm not supporting violent activity, of course, he says. You know, I'm not supporting this, he says. But they're not giving us other options, he says. They're not giving us another option. But to do this, it's not fair that we destroy this business, but it's not fair that we get shot by these things. It's not. So there he is, just showing where this took place. They don't have the right to treat us this way. He's referring to the government, to officials. So he's going back to the business that was destroyed by these pro-migrant protesters, violent protesters, and he's saying this is what happens. Again, he keeps saying that these are the consequences of them, that community being mistreated by officials. And he says, you think illegals did this? No, illegals didn't do this. He says Americans did this. Yeah, Hispanic Americans who were supporting the Mexican flag and the Honduran flag, whatever, the Salvadorian flag. And yes, some of them were migrants too. And I'm sure that a lot of those people crossed the border illegally. But he's not going to say that. He's not going to admit it. But yes, he says American citizens. Yeah, Hispanic Americans were there. We saw that. He's saying, look at this business. It has been destroyed. Then he says, I may even grab one Gatorade over here. I'm tempted. And he's laughing. Just hear him out.
Tengo sed, si me agarran un Gatorade. Ya me dio sed, muchachos. 2 horas aquí.
So what do you think? Kevin found it a little bit funny there to just grab a Gatorade. Might as well, right? Because the business was destroyed by his own people that he's saying they had no other choice. Pretty disgusting behavior. And then here we have another footage from another user the following day. And you see these protesters once again with the Mexican flags and complaining. You also see some white libtards there too, for the record. There you see more Mexican flags. So more Mexican Americans and Mexican migrants supporting these violent, disgusting behavior. Check it out. That Waymo vehicle completely destroyed. I think they're worth about $200,000 and destroyed. California is basically like South America right now. They can't have anything nice because they'll destroy it. So, you know, making a progress over there, it's extremely difficult. Check it out. They're burning it now. Yeah, you see the anti-ICE messages. Yep, there is the Waymo vehicle being burned. Again, there are white libtards here as well, okay? Now, it's not just Hispanic Americans. There are white Americans here too. Now, here's Kevin again, and he's recording the burning of these Waymo vehicles, showing us where showing us the location. And he's saying this has never happened before in the US. So the message he's trying to tell his followers, the viewers, is that this is because of President Trump. And he's thanking those watching his video for supporting him and supporting this movement that is protesting against the ICE raids, against our people, right? Our brothers and sisters. This is so right. This is the proper thing to do. Burn Waymo vehicles and loot businesses, destroy businesses. That's how we will fight for our rights. That makes it so much better. The rights of who, by the way? Criminals, right? Border crossers. Anyway, so Kevin here is saying they're not stopping. And there you see he's recording the Mexican people on top of the Waymo vehicle, which I think you saw some of those photos that went viral. He says again, we've never seen something like this before. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, even 5 Waymo cars being destroyed here. So imagine. Just listen to these Mexicans saying, Viva Mexico, right? Go ahead, long live Mexico.
Por favor, compartan, 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 muchachos, compartan. ¡Viva la raza! ¡Viva la raza! ¡Viva la raza! This is the beginning, baby! This is the fucking beginning, that's fucking right. Dicen en inglés que este es el comienzo de todo. Que van a prender así todo.
You heard it in English, and Kevin was translating in Spanish. But yeah, they were saying that they're tired and that this is the beginning, I guess, of their revolution. These are Mexican Americans. And then we get this white libtard asking, how come they're not burning Teslas? Check it out.
Why
Waymo's not Teslas, for example? Like, why is it Waymo?
I guess because Teslas are occupied by people. These are like,
So it's because they don't want to hurt any people.
Right.
Yeah.
So they can use these as victims.
Oh, yeah. Contexto.
That makes sense.
Yeah, this makes sense. Because there's nobody driving the car,
Who's
right?
gonna get hurt?
Yeah, I used to have those.
You saw that? Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, let's burn Waymo vehicles because there's nobody in them. And I guess if Tesla starts doing the robotaxi, then we can burn Teslas. But right now, we're not hurting anybody. We're just destroying the Waymo cars in support of the migrant community. Like, that makes sense. And for her to even ask, why don't we burn Teslas? I mean, it's pretty insane. And yeah, there's the Guatemalan flag. What a disaster. More Mexican flags, more Guatemalan flags. And even Kevin says, this is not the way to do this. But remember, according to him, these are the consequences of the ICE raids and the way they were trying to control these violent protesters. These are the consequences. But let's check Kevin's Instagram page. Here he is by the Niagara Falls. And then we see him in Toronto, Canada. It seems like he had a pretty good time over there. Lots of cool pictures and some traveling. I mean, he does quite a bit of traveling. Then here he is in Mexico, where we can see more videos and more photos. This was before all of these protests. But I want to show you this because it is very important. Then here he is in New York. Once again, more pictures, more videos, more traveling. There he is in Colorado. And if we keep scrolling through his page, you'll see that he made it to Santa Monica and even Hawaii. Kevin was having a good time, ladies and gents. Lots of traveling for this Mexican American. But why? I mean, I'm trying to understand this. How is it possible for Kevin to travel to so many places and not get deported? Oh, that's right, because Kevin is a Mexican American. He didn't illegally cross the border into the US, so he's able to travel anywhere throughout the country and even outside of the country. That's why I call them fake and very hypocrite individuals. So again, if they can send this video to the likes of Kevin, Carol, and any other pro-migrant community or group, please go back. Just go back to Mexico. Try to make it better, because we know that Mexico is falling apart. Corrupt politicians. The crime is out of control. The cartels are basically running the country. Their economy sucks. So go and fix it. But you won't. You want to come here and insult the United States. Then we saw them, right? A lot of them were burning the American flags. I mean, pretty disgusting behavior. The truth is that if people like Kevin and Carol and other pro-migrant individuals love their migrant community so much, they can go ahead and pick a lot of those migrants who are still living in New York City hotels. Pick them up, guys. Feed them yourselves. Why don't you do that if you love them so much? Shelter them from deportation. Put them in your homes. And pay for everything. Unvetted though, okay? You cannot pick and choose. Only women and children. No, no, no. The way they came in at random, that's how you pick them up. At random. Criminal record, no criminal record, we don't know. You just have to find out. Take them to your house and find out. You won't, because you're a bunch of morons. Fake morons. Guys, thank you for watching. Please smash the like button, subscribe, and share this video with everyone you know. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I mean, this is insanity. Oh, this is bad. Looting is bad. Destroying the business is so bad. But they give us no other choice. We have to destroy Waymo cars, burn them. We have no other choice, guys. We have to stand for our rights. I mean, lunatics. Complete lunatics. Take care. And remember, the shout-outs for those of you who support this channel are down below. Thank you. As always, I'll see you next time.
Muchachos, son las 2 de la mañana. Llevo casi 12 horas afuera, protestando en el centro de Los Ángeles. No puedo dormir, pensando qué puedo hacer. Ya es tiempo que el pueblo despierte y que los latinos, por favor, nos unamos.
My fellow Americans, it is with overwhelming enthusiasm that I am declaring that anyone who protests or interferes with ICE and their operations is officially gay, big time. With that being said, go ahead and call your dads, tell them about your alternative lifestyle as a gay communist, and then, who knows, maybe eat a lollipop. I don't know what flamers do with their time, but I'd imagine it's something along those lines. Maybe decorate a bathroom, who knows? In either case, this is who you are now, and everybody knows it. Cat's out of the bag. Cat is out of the bag.